What's the difference between credit card and a debit card? Let's talk about that. And you're going to be shocked at my answer. So at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about which one you have to use all the time and exclusively. And you're going to be shocked. You'll say, oh my gosh. So get ready. We got a lot to talk about. Specifically, I'm going to talk about 5 things. I'm going to talk about just why have credit card debt. Yep, I want you to have some credit card debt. I actually want you to go get more credit cards. I'm going to talk about why you should never consolidate them, the old traditional style. I'm going to talk about how you can use a system to increase your credit and increase your ability to get finance and funding. It's like available to everybody. And final, but not last, is when should you have a credit card? How young should you be? And I'm talking as young as 13. Now I just startled you, so get a pen and paper. We probably have a lot to, I'm going to say redo and unlearn, because a lot of you have been doing this wrong. So let's go back to the beginning. Why is it taught so wrong? Well, because Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey and the old traditional financial institutes have their way. And they want you to use the credit card so they can, continue to charge you fees. Every time you use a credit card, the merchant usually gets charged 2 to 3 points. So the financial institute makes money on the arbitrage in between. They love you using it. Then they love that you over leverage yourself. And the only reason you over leverage yourself is, I'm going to give you a very different spin. You want a bigger life. So the answer isn't to go get out of debt. The answer is make more money. That's my philosophy. But what happens? You outlive your ability to make money, right? So you get a certain level in a paycheck, or your company's stuck making a certain amount of money, but you want to buy more things. You want more things, and maybe even want to invest. Like right now, I know people buying NFTs and crypto with credit cards. So you put the rest of your life that you haven't made money on a credit card. Well, over time, that actually builds up, and then you get way behind. So then you do the debt consolidation thing, and my God, does that cost you a fortune? So it looks simple, and you come out with one simple payment. And the truth is, it's crushing you. It crushes your credit score. It crushes your ability to get more credit. So none of that traditional model has worked. And to be debt-free, let me just blow that one out of the water. When you're debt-free and you have no money in the financial system, and then you go to get more credit or get more funding or even get a mortgage, you don't look very good because you're not in the financial system. So let me just give you an example of how to properly use credit cards. Minimum, I want you to have 4 of them as an adult. 4. For sure. Easy. If not 7, 8. We'll come to that next. But just say you have 4, right? So you have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 in your month. Well, traditionally, most of you probably pay bills once or twice a month, or you have an auto pay and it all goes out at a certain time. Nothing could hurt your credit more. And I know a lot of people have never told you that. They're wrong. I'm right. I guarantee I'm right, because you can follow this model, and I promise your credit score will accelerate in enormous ways. So if you have 4 credit cards, and yes, I'm not getting paid, I should be sponsored, but you need an American Express, if not 1, 2, or 3. You need Discover cards, you need Visas, you need MasterCards, you need a variety of cards from a variety of banks. Do not have all your credit cards in one bank. You want to spread it out. You want the financial institutes to see you're viable, you're spending money, you're making money. Now, let's just compare this really quick to a debit card. Why would you use a debit card at all? You say, well, the bank gives me it. I know, so go put it in a safe, put it away. Why would you use a debit card? Use it as an emergency. It pulls the money straight out of your bank account. Why not use somebody else's money for 30 days? And then you're going to stage the payments. So credit card number 1, right? You're going to pay it off week 1, and then you're going to get out and spend again. Week 2, you're going to pay off credit card number 2, get out and spend again. Notice there's always money in the system. Week 3, pay it off full, start spending again. Week 4, same thing. You say, well, how do I do that? Especially like students. I coach a lot of student athletes. And I'll say, well, use the American Express for food, maybe use a Discover card for gas, maybe use the Visa card for just personal things that you need, shampoos, whatever you need for your apartment, toiletries, and maybe use the 4th one for travel, right? Whether you have to fly home or do whatever you're going to do, but you have different purposes for them. It keeps your bookkeeping really clean. It keeps your spending really clean. I've had students with horrible credit scores in the 500, 600s just start the process of very purposefully, and I'm not saying overuse them. Use a couple hundred, but pay them off. You'll notice a 50 to 100 point difference in just the use of the credit cards in a proper way. Now you say, well, when should we start? At 13 years old. So first of all, I'm going to teach you how to live corporate life. So if you are a parent, which I am, my kids had bank accounts the minute they were born, checking and savings. And as they got older, you start kids with debit cards because you want them to feel the immediate impact of a debit card coming right out of the bank account. But then you can assign one of your smaller cards. Yes, it's under yours because you have to be 18 to get one. Assign one of your smaller cards and every month have them sit and have to reconcile it with you. And if they don't, you take the card away. First of all, parent, it's going to make your life a lot more convenient, right? You're going to track your kid, you're going to track their spending. You can't track their cash. They could be out and eating somewhere, buying things. They start using a card, you get some trackability. Also, it's going to boost your own personal score. I've seen parents get their own score boosted by just this $100 to $200 potentially a month that you're going to let your kids spend. Oh, and by the way, you're going to take it out of their never pay your kids an allowance. You're going to take it off of their checks if it wasn't yours to be bought. So why 13? Gives you 5 years to train those kids before you set them free as an adult. And most of you are doing it wrong. At 18, you give them their first credit card because legally that is their first card. But the behavior's under your control for 5 years. I promise you, you'll have a financially literate kid. Your kids won't be into debt as they go to college. They won't have to come back after their freshman and sophomore year of college saying, oh my gosh, I'm in all this credit card debt and I'm upside down. Because you're going to teach them young. You're going to teach them early on how to do this. And yourself. So let's go back to you. Before we go back to you, though, I want you to subscribe to my channel. Right, let's get to it. I need to be talking to you every day. I have anywhere between 8, 10, 12-minute videos. That's easy, something to wake up to. Maybe when you're doing your jog, you turn on your financial literacy. Make financial literacy a commitment this year. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notifications, and share it with your friends and family. Like, you don't want to be in this conversation all by yourself, especially this one, because everyone's going to say that you're crazy when you start doing what I'm right about. So, back to put your debit cards away, go get more credit cards. If you have screwed up your credit, at the end, I'm going to have you fill out an application. I'll send it over to my credit repair team, who's very effective. They're not going to do consolidation. We're going to do true, authentic credit repair. Get your credit score up. Get your corporate credit score. And you say, well, I don't have a corporate credit score. Well, if you had an LLC, an S Corp, a C Corp, a limited partnership, or a trust, all of them can have their own credit. And guess what? They should have their own credit cards too. I have clients that have 9, 10, I have one that has 17 LLC corporations. That means 17 credit cards, if not 34, because you have probably 1 or 2 per company. Think of the lines of credit. So, as a mentor, coach, when you come to me and say, oh, I don't have any money and I can't get any money. Well, first of all, most of you don't deserve to get any. You're too financially illiterate. But besides my judgment about that, you all need to have more credit, and you're not using it right. And if you're doing it the Susie Orman style by cutting them up and throwing them away, you're killing your credit. What the banks want is activity. They want to know that you're going to be active. I have some cards that have an unlimited, like I can spend $1 million on a credit card. You say, oh my gosh, how do I do that? Well, I've done it before. Facebook ads, YouTube ads, TikTok ads. I've spent and spent. And you know what? They love it because they're getting more and more fees. But then you have to be responsible. You got to pay it off every month and get all the points. There's so many advantages to using a credit card right. So if you've enjoyed this again, like, get to it. If you need help, here, let's start like this. Go take my financial personality quiz. Find out who you are. Find out if you're a lifestyle junkie and you love spending. That's fine. I'm actually fine with that. I just want to teach you to make more money to buy anything you want. And then as soon as you do that quiz, I'm going to send you an application. I will double up the application. I want to talk to you about just teaching you financial literacy, but also I'm going to send it over to my credit repair person, especially if you check the big box that says, I need credit help. I've destroyed my credit. So I'll send it over there, and that team will get back to you, and let's get that fixed. And you can't live in this financial world without that getting fixed. Not with you have mortgages, you want to invest in real estate, you're going to have to get this stuff fixed. So I have this saying called, so what, now what? So what you ever did to yourself, it's time to fix it. Talk to you tomorrow.